Hello and welcome to part 2 of making this metallic chunky yarn clutch bag. So in this part 2 we are going to be attaching the metallic clutch to the bag, and yeah, this what literally makes the bag what it is, or it will just be a regular chunky bag. Okay, so this is an in-depth tutorial. If you haven't watched part 1, you go ahead and watch part 1. It's a very simple to do bag. It is hand knit, very easy. So without further ado, let's get right back into our tutorial. Okay, we ended off part 1 with cinching off our bag and pulling everything to secure it and making sure that it fits our frame. So this is me just putting the excess yarn in because I did say in part 1 that I wanted to use this yarn for something else. I did not plan on cutting it off. So this is me just measuring the bag or the frame to the bag to make sure everything fits nicely. This bag is actually very perfect because it is a type of bag that actually stretches. So yeah, it can literally fit literally almost anything. I should stop saying literally. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is to grab our frame, and then we're going to take our metallic t-shirt yarn. Personally, I prefer that you find a t-shirt yarn that matches obviously the original chunky, you know, the chunky yarn. Just make sure that it matches at least so that everything is cohesive and it flows. So make a slip knot, and then you're going to attach your yarn to the frame, and you're basically going to do a single crochet around the entire frame. So I'm just going over and pulling a loop, and then pulling through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and I'm just going to be hiding the tail of my yarn at the start as I go, because I don't like weaving any ends. I hate weaving ends, so I'm carrying the yarn as I go. So I'll just keep going back and forth, single crochet back and forth around the entire frame, and to make sure that these single crochets are like clumped together so that they hide the entire silver of the frame. Try to do as much as you can where it's not crowded, but it is, the coverage is good enough to cover the frame. In this next clip right here, you're going to see how mine looks like. It is like full coverage. Now when you get to the folding parts of the handle, basically these parts where you fold, you're just going to chain one. You're just going to chain one, and then you're going to keep single crocheting until like it wasn't even there. So there's our chain one right there. We're just going to chain one, and then you're just going to single crochet all around the entire thing. Just single crochet around. Again, you're going to go all around until you get to the next what's it called, the next clutchy part, and then you chain one again. Then I'm going to meet you guys at the end. Okay, so here we are towards the end. I'm just trying to finish off. Okay, so here we are at the start, and I'm just going to slip stitch to join the round together, and I'm going to just leave that there. I'm not going to cut my yarn. I am going to bring in my chunky project right now, and I'm going to place it right on top, right there. Make sure you're placing it in the correct side, and I'm going to grab my pipe cleaners, and I'm just going to put all of those in place so that it doesn't move too much. If you don't have pipe cleaners, darling, please use whatever rope you have, use whatever yarn you have. You don't need fancy stuff, please. Use literally whatever you got. I like pipe cleaners just because they're flexible, and they get into spaces, and they actually hold on tight. But literally use whatever you have. All right, now that we have everything attached and nothing is moving, we are going to single crochet our frame to our chunky bag. So I'm just going to put my crochet hook into the loop right there, and then I am going to go into the project, that is into the, what's it called, the chunky yarn, and then I'm going to crochet now around our project. If we were to crochet around our project without doing the initial crochet around the frame, it will look like a very botchy and messy project, and none of us like that. So roughly into every loop of the chunky project, I am doing 3 single crochets. Into every loop, I'm single crocheting into that loop 3 times before I move on to the next loop. So that's roughly what I'm doing. Yeah, you can do like 2 times. I just want to say the more times that you do, the more the hole is going to be pronounced on your project. Like those holes at the top is going to be more pronounced. Okay, so I just want you guys to keep that in mind. So this is me just single crocheting the entire thing. Yeah, I'm going to meet you guys back when we get to the closing part of the frame. Okay, when we get to the part that the frame actually closes, nothing literally changes, just crochet. Just keep crocheting over it, ignore it. Do your 2 to 3 crochets into one loop, and then you keep going to attach the frame to the chunky part of the bag. Right, so when you crochet to where you finally started, you're just going to slip stitch to join the project. Then you're going to chain one, and you're going to cut the yarn. You're going to tuck in your fishing line and secure everything. So literally at this point you should be done with your bag. Everything should be done. It should be finished. But depending on the type of frame that you use, sometimes when you attempt to close it, some people might be bothered by the fact that it doesn't close like till its mouth is firmly shut. I'm going to demonstrate in a minute. So yeah, it doesn't close firmly like it is shut unless you like squeeze it together. So I have like a remedy for this entire situation. Okay, so those are my fingers getting in there, and yeah, so you can get a magnetic lock and literally sew it to the bag. Right, to sew the magnetic lock is actually very simple. These magnetic locks, they come with um, gaps at the corners, and you just need a needle and thread, and you're just going to go and attach the magnetic lock a couple of times, select the t-shirt yarn part of the frame, and you're going to go around each of those holes about 2 or 3 times depending on you. So I'm just going to let you guys watch in real time how I was doing most of my sewing. So this was like a temporary type of sewing because, like I said, I had to take down this project. I really love the bag, but it's not my style. I really love it. It's giving rich auntie vibes, you know? And I'm not qualified for a rich auntie yet, if you get what I mean. So, um, yeah, so I was just going back and forth, inserting the needle into the hole, attaching it to the t-shirt yarn part, and yeah, back and forth. So when I was done with it, I just snipped off the thread and I brought it together to see where I'll put like the second magnetic pin, and I made sure it was in the right spot, and I went ahead and I sewed that one down as well. Okay, so when you're done sewing, just snip, make sure you tie your yarn firmly before you snip it off, and try to check if everything closes nice and firm. So mine was closing all right. And like I said, this bag is structured in a way that you can adjust it any way that you want it, any shape that you want. You can push it down to make it smaller, you can stretch it to make it bigger, you can puff it up. So yeah, it's nice and versatile. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bells, share this video to someone who you think might want to make this lovely bag. Tell me if you have this type of bag, where are you wearing it to? Tell me the colors that you plan to make this bag in. Send me photos in my email, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.